Alaska win, which was in itself incredibly impressive.
Oh, she has, but she always worked good, even before she ever run really, and she worked good in the morning, and she looks well, and she's ready to go again. Yeah.
Any other horses that you can point us in the way of that we should look out for?
Well, we've got Farage. Baby's another one as well. He's a ground dependent. You know, if he gets here fast ground, he's flying at the moment as well. You know, he's one of those who's enjoying racing at the moment, and. But like I said, it depends on the ground. I'll have some good rides, I think, next week. I think I've got Farage and Connecticut might go for the more than 6 race on Saturday. Yeah. And I've got the Roger in the Ebo. You know, he'll have a good chance as well. But no, I've got some good rides. It just obviously depends on ground. And
so you want soft for Kingston, good for Farage, quick for Kerstry Glass. You don't know what weather forecast to celebrate when it comes on, but it's an exciting week, and York for the jockeys is a great meeting.
Oh, it is. I love York. I think it's probably. I think the best track I've ever ridden. You know, I love York. I've been very lucky. I think this year I rode a lot of winners, a lot of good winners as well. So it's been a lucky track for me. Very easy to ride, and don't see many unlucky stories. And you know,
we're looking forward to it here on Racing UK. Good luck next week, and well done today.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Andrea. Could be a very good week for Andrea at Zany next week, and whatever the weather does, it's be good for some and not so good for the others. For him, there is 3Ms just behind the caption. Must be quite a big price for this Watch Racing UK Anywhere Maiden Stakes. Extended mile. Now there's some firm in places bits in the back straight, but generally it's good to firm. Guess How Much I Love You doesn't go. Number 3. Above the rest is 4 to 7 favourite Conquerant at 15 to 8 and Drifting. Hidden Power at 10 to 1. Norfolk Sound is 12s, 3Ms is 25s, Focal Mar is at 28s, 33s Highfield Lass, 50s Little Miss Becky, Tobago Keys at 66 to 1. Both the top two in the betting, Dave, have had a few chances, though I'd be inclined to be a lot more forgiving about Above the Rest. Done little wrong, I think, at Windsor and Kempton the last twice.
Yeah, I think that's a very fair point. And also, you know, if you're using private figures and RPRs as your guides, Above the Rest has already achieved more than Conquerant has. But I'm not sure I would price it at 4 to 7 and 15 to 8, though.
You'd have them closer, would you?
Yeah, I would have them closer. I think that Alistair Whitehouse Jones even money and 11 to 10 in the paper, in the Racing Post, is more like it. That's what I would.
Would you like to see Conquerant at Sandown?
I would like to see Conquerant. Yeah,
I'm going with your pronunciation.
I think it means. Well, I think the dam is the world, and I think it's French for they will. Is it like they will conquer or something like that? I think.
Where's Claude Charlet?
Yeah, Claude. I think that's what it is.
At this point, he's been covered up by William Buick. I think was on board this night, and you thought maybe this would be his chance. He was sent off favourite, but you know the visor made
first
no
time.
difference whatsoever.
And we've got cheap pieces on today. And so, yeah, I mean, it's funny, races like this, David, you know, you can. I love maiden races. I love 2-year-old maidens in particular, because particularly if there's one who's had a few tries, you know, I'd much rather take on a lightly take that on with a lightly racehorse with fewer convictions. But I think at the prices here, it's tighter between them than I would have said personally.
Yeah, 4 to 7 and 7 to 4. This race for the 3-year-olds. Hidden Power at 10s, Norfolk Sound 12s, 3Ms. This is a homebred for Roy Bowring, as was the Dam. Marinate, who won twice at Southwell, by Milk It Mick.
Yeah,
I know he's not set the world on fire at stud, but I really liked him as a 2-year-old.
Yeah,
he ended up winning the Dewhurst, and
he's done all right, hasn't he? I mean, he's
had a few winners.
I know he's a Dewhurst, and I'm sure his connections would not like me saying this, but he wasn't a superstar. He was a sort of blue-collar Dewhurst winner, if there is such a thing.
He was by Milcom, and he must have been the most expensive Milcom in the world at the time.
And he's done okay. You know, the market signals with this one and Hidden Power are all we've got to go on. Hidden Power's quite interesting because obviously that's stronger in the market. Cost 30 grand, good pedigree. Joe Hughes wins races of this type. Hello.
It's Tobago Keys, who has been to the racecourse once. She's by Taboog, and she was tailed off last at Windsor first time. Ryan Wild getting straight back on. Sorry, Dave.
No, and so it's interesting that there's support for that one, because in terms of the figures, the first two, for all, OK, Conquerant has had 6 chances, above the rest 3. But they've had the chances, but what they've done in terms of figures is way ahead of everybody else, isn't it?
3M's just kicking out in her stall in 6. Chris Wall's in sensational form at the moment. He's got Norfolk Sound at 14. Samuel Clark having his 4th ride on board. Seemed to go backwards at Doncaster last time, but the way the Yards horses are going, it'd be folly to rule anything out. Hopefully 3M's has calmed down a bit. That's Highfield Lass. It's the last one, I think, to go. They've dismounted 3M's and taken her out of the stall, so there must be some doubt about her. Don't think she's going to run, is she? We'll find out. I think we'll hand over to Stuart and see what happens.
So Highfield Lass allowed to be put in, and she too just having a little bit of a think about things. Now the handlers ease her in, but she's not really playing ball at present. It would appear that they're going to be going out with 3M's, who is just being given the once over by the vet. She was lashing out quite violently at the back of the starting stall. She looks okay. Got her ears pricked as she stands a little away from the others, the Roy Bowring trained filly. And the handlers are still working gently to try and get Highfield Lass in. Highfield Lass still not playing ball. Now are they going to try and get her in on her own with jockey Michael Stainton waiting for her in the superstructure of the stalls? Will this do the trick? And it looks as though it has done. She has now gone in. So those that remain are all set. Michael Stainton back on board. They're off, racing over a mile, varying signs of greenness from the stalls. Hidden Power, one of the slowest to come away with Highfield Lass and Tobago Keys, and to confirm that 3M's is not with the field, having been taken out of the stalls. So to the end of a quarter of a mile they go, and it's the odds-on favourite above the rest with the red cap, who gives a lead to market rival Conquerant in the all-blue silks of Godolphin. Then Focal Mare in the black and beige tracking them, in turn being followed through by Norfolk Sound. Highfield Lass and a sheepskin noseband is out wide of Little Miss Becky. They're followed by Tobago Keys and Hidden Power tucking in on the inside in a mauve jacket as they begin the sweep from the back straight. So heading around towards home, beginning to stretch themselves out above the rest, and Conquerant dictating terms here. They race about 2 lengths clear from Norfolk Sound, heading the chase on the outer of Focal Mare. Then Hidden Power, Little Miss Becky in the black and yellow being ridden along from Tobago Keys, and Highfield Lass is towards the rear. Beyond a halfway, Conquerant in the raw blue, upsides above the rest. They're still over 2 lengths ahead. Norfolk Sound is close enough to land a blow in third ahead of Focal Mare. There's a gap though of 5 or 6 lengths to the rest, to being headed by Hidden Power. Now down to the last 2.5 furlongs. Conquerant the first of the leading pair to come under pressure, and Lane draws the whip. Meanwhile Doyle just shakes up above the rest against the fence. Down to the last furlong and a half, above the rest now, fending off the attentions of Conquerant, who's dropped a couple of lengths away back in second. Norfolk Sound is in third, above the rest, nudged clear inside the last furlong, beginning to draw away from Conquerant, who's leaden-legged in second, and above the rest, a cut above this opposition, beats Conquerant, Norfolk Sound, and then Highfield Lass making some late progress into fourth.
A cut above the rest indeed. He wins at 8-13. James Doyle on for the first time, readily out-muscled Conquerant in the last couple of furlongs, with Norfolk Sound running a really good race for a red-hot stable in Chris Wall in third. We'll review that later. Now, the Prix de Lure is coming up at 3:50. We'll show you a recording of this. There's a number that have come over from the UK to run in it. Vita Perron, Amazing Maria, Kyoshi for Charles Hills and Qatar Racing. Bawina, though, when we spoke to Claude Charlie earlier on, he was of the opinion that she was much the likeliest winner, but he gave a nice mention to Cladda Sarah, number 8, with Antoine Amelan on board. We'll show you a recording of that after our next at Newbury, which will be the listed St Hugh's Stakes, sponsored by Bathwick Tyres. Explosive Lady, Little Miss Blakeney and Zebon Nisa don't go. 9 do. Dangerous Moonlight is at 3-1 the favourite, 7-2 Blue Aegean. Parsley is at 5-1 from 6s. Accipiter 7s from 8s, with Rosie's Premier 7s as well. Bronze Maquette is at 10-1 for Gary Moore and Richard Green, and 16-1 about Alpha Rees. Spirit of Zion at 20s and 33s. Magic Florence are just arriving down at the start.
Dean Ivory joins me here at Newbury, just about to see Rosie's Premier run in the listed race. Dean, when I was looking at the form, I thought she had quite a decent chance in this race. I think in the circumstance she ran quite well last time out. How did you assess her performance?
That was a fantastic run last time. You know, she ran at the time before that at Chester, and she wasn't the fastest away around at Chester, going right around the outside, but the penny seemed to have dropped, and when we ran her at Ascot, she just seemed to hit the gate, and she made too much use earlier on. And although she was sort of finishing, I'm sure she'd have been a lot closer if he could have held on to a little bit more from her. But of course 6 furlongs at Ascot is like 6.5, one thing and another, but I think a drop back to 5 furlongs should definitely help her. She doesn't want firm ground. I think she should handle the ground all right. She's never run in it before, and you never know until we run her. But at the Dam, she showed a lot of promise, I believe, over soft and good to soft ground. And you know, she's not all legs everywhere. She's built, you know, very, very well put together, so she should handle it all right. She's quite close to the ground. She should handle it pretty well.
The form of the Ascot race has worked out okay. Given the drop back in trip, would the plan be to make plenty of use of her early here?
Well, it's one of these things where you just have to see how she jumps. I mean, if she jumps well enough, you know, I don't want to disappoint her today. Yeah, jump handy, and just tuck behind one, and then just fill her up, and then just use her at the end, because you know she's going to finish well. And then again, if she jumps if she jumps a little bit slower, I wouldn't worry about that. We'd just start niggling away two furlongs and work our way through to the front. But she's tough, and she'd come out of that Ascot race a lot better than I thought she would have done, and a lot quicker. And you know, she's 100% well in herself and fit. And no, so she should have I like to think she's got a very, very good chance today.
I'm pleased you said that, Dean. Thank you. Showcasing has made a good start to his career as a stallion. How have you found training his offspring? Clearly, this horse has got plenty of talent.
Easy. They're uncomplicated. They're a great personality. They're nice and calm and relaxed in their work. When they come